these competency reports. Let's see here. And this is sort of like an update for my family. Let's see. In that case, they're trying to say here that I'm, have a paranoia. They're casting spells over here, making a lot of false statements. The first person that did the assessment, by the way, this is all in regards to a competency hearing that I was forced to attend and coerced to attend by the courts. And so the way that they work is it's a COINTELPRO operation, from what I understand, and that they began arresting me even when I would show up, in good faith. I showed up at the sheriff's office one particular time and happened to be a warrant outstanding for me. And it's like, how am I getting these damn warrants? And it's because, these things, these frivolous suits just don't disappear. Yeah, we got to finish them. And so, I'm showing up in good faith. They're, everybody is paranoid. So, I didn't have an ID. I just had a question. I just want to turn some paperwork in. She wanted to know a name and all this. And so at that point, they start conspiring against you. So everywhere you go within the system, you're just going to have to find, the roads that lead you towards freedom and lead you towards, resolution in your favor. That was a reframe that I just spat out. Okay. In any case, just looking at this report, there was two different people. First guy was a man. He was belligerent. He was being forceful. He wasn't willing to answer certain questions that I had. He did not make any disclosures. Now in their report, they automatically put notice of confidentiality and consent. Of course, in the report they say that they actually gave me these disclaimers, disclosures, whatever, and they never did. Absolutely not. This guy had all types of questions. Some of them seemed like, exactly what I thought it was. I'm like, is this guy FBI or something? He wrote a freaking long, lengthy 11-page report, really just, showing his bias toward me, for whatever reason, I don't think I had told him towards the end of the conversation before we just departed that, he was steering the conversation, and he knows I disclosed to him that I had a broker's license and all this kind of stuff. So he may be sore about it, but I also have the impression that he could have an agenda, beyond the scope of, in any case, I progress. The second one was a lady. She starts off making a false statement. She says here, he left the first clinic at which he was to see this examiner. So she's like writing in the third person as if there was some extra person there, if this is being transcribed for her. What is it? It was just two people in there. So she did not divulge that she had a recording device. Maybe she did. Was to see this examiner, then failed to appear for another. I missed that examiner once. What is she talking about? Appear for another. He is charged with one misdemeanor count of resisting. As you can see there. Listen to this. This is fabricated. Charges are filed in the context of two prior failure to registers, a first-degree burglary, and a robbery. Wow. Wow. Man, I just, oh my goodness. Oh man. Woo. This shit is kind of heavy a little bit, y'all, because my way of, they want to say I'm paranoid, schizo. All right, fuck it, I said it. That's what they want to try and, cast spells. We rebuke that BS, right? We know the truth. This video serves as an echo in the annals of Equation Oracle. My stratagem, growing up was, I tend to be more on the anxious side. I mean, it describes that in my astrological blueprint. They don't use the astrology though, huh? And I tend to be strategic. I do have Virgo in my moon, which is analytical. You see what I'm saying? Emotionally, cautious, and or just all you astrologers out there, you know what to do. In any case, I conduct my life strategically, trying to, not in my best interest, but trying to negate any potential threats that the system has already shown me through my, youth upbringing and demonstration. And, the environment had already demonstrated to me that, I need to be strategic with how I do things. You know what I mean? And so this is just proof, like I'm reading this and it's just like this woman is worse than a prosecutor who trumps up some charges. Because see, here's another strategy that I want to highlight. She says here, presiding judge, honorable thing. This guy ain't honorable. So they did 2 reports. They're going to give one to one judge because, see, any judge can be presiding. This is why somebody told me when you send these paperwork, you address it to the presiding judge. You see what I'm saying? Because you start putting the one judge and then it's a new judge, and then that judge is not necessarily, you see what I'm saying, bound to, you see what I'm saying? Like you're dealing with 2 different judges. Then, so if you look at this one, let me see. This judge presiding is a different man. And this guy wrote the department backwards. It's 23, not 32. I mean, but then he's got, it's written right there. I don't know who wrote that. But so, the public defender is competing with me in this matter. Like, I said, I don't understand. And she immediately said, oh, I circled, the location of the clinic and this and that and the third. And pardon me if I'm jumping around, it's cool. And I'm just like, her response, her cadence, it was like, yo, you are rebutting, or you are sort of seeking immunity of some sort from what I have just said, what I've just proclaimed that I don't understand. Hey, oh, well, what, huh? Are you? She has not behaved. So I'm an adversary of the court. That's the thing, though, is that they've already put me into the category of adversary because they know that they've been doing wrong. And this is some backdoor type shit. So all I can say is, if I were to reincarnate, I would want to do it the same way. But I would want mostly for other people to wake up to see that, like, this is the travesty of it. The tragedy of this is that, I'm magnetic too. I'm very powerful in terms of attracting things. And so, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you could create fear in a person that has those abilities, those capacities, and and then you do these character assassinations and you plant these seeds and you do these different spells. This is straight spelling. Like, I'm positive their reports are way off. Like, these 2 reports don't even match up. She's saying that I dress really nice. She's saying that that I look like Ronald McDonald and I look like a goofball and a fool, and the evidence just doesn't support that. But just everything that they're saying, like her report is like 3 pages, his is 11. Like, why he got so much to write? And so I think this was strategic as well. They may have purposefully assigned a man and a woman because they want to see what type of different, responses they might get. And then also, I mean, I've already debunked this. I already know what this is. I found some research online, which was peer reviewed, discussing, how these psychological assessments work and how they don't even contrast all their negative, debasing commentary with the cause, you see what I'm saying, of the behavior. They don't address that, the trauma. This is something that they commonly people are actually experiencing trauma, and those symptoms don't get written about, and there's a reason for that. And this paper had gave complete details. The reason is, one of the major reasons, I think, not that I think, but that according to this paper, one of the major reasons is the fact that if they identify that you have had trauma, then they have to actually, as part of their duty, that they have to sort of pursue legal claims or follow up, like with follow up some sort of action for the person. Like it said, say somebody did a report. Say you reported that you were raped, right, to some doctor. The doctor is going to have to follow some procedure to report that. It's in every. You could work at a group home. You see what I'm saying? You got to report that. It's when you're dealing with the state of California, that's how they do things. They want you to report those things. So in both of these scenarios, I clearly went in discussing the trauma. That was my context, was the trauma. Not here, I'm here to, so you can ring me out and tell me I'm crazy and all this kind of bullshit. But here, let me tell you what happened, what has got me up in arms. You feel me? Like, they're literally trying to classify a person who is passionate, a person who talks or who's long-winded, right, as having some mental derangement. Now, I won't deny that mental derangement is something that happens as a consequence of mistreatment. I won't deny that. I'll definitely concede that point. You know what I mean? When you've been mistreated, when you've been molested, you know what I'm saying? And when molestation is like literally, it's conditioning. When you've been conditioned, when you're conditioning a person through, this sort of interaction, both police misconduct, then public defender misconduct, judge misconduct, and then psychological misconduct, right? The doctors, whatever, right? Then it's like, wow, okay. So I find it just quite interesting, man. I find it quite interesting. I'm gonna go ahead and stop this video now. That's it, man. I just wanted to say that, I don't necessarily need to read all this to you folks, but they just make a lot of false statements, and they have to basically, recreate, what took place inside of a meeting. You know what I'm saying? Like, this woman in particular, she didn't take many notes until like the last 10 minutes. Then she starts scribbling, right? This guy, he never stopped scribbling. He was pretty much trying to keep up. So if, there's no way he's going to be able to write coherent or recreate a coherent, accurate, account of what I may have said. You get what I'm saying? Because number one, his handwriting is illegible, right? Number two, he was trying to write fast and get all these details. Number three, he showed some worry, when I picked up my recording device. He looked noticeably worried. He probably didn't think it was a recording device because it looks like a tablet, but the way I picked it up, it just sort of seemed to provoke a certain reaction in him that I would classify as angst, worry, etc. And, on and on. So he's trying to recreate 11 pages to get his point across. And she wants to get her point across and makes that attempt in 3 pages. So men are dumber than women? I don't know. Anyhow, that's all I want to say for now. If you have any questions about competency hearings, if you want to pick my brain or something, drop me a line. I'll try and respond to a few. Okay, but yeah, just hit me up. Let me know what's on your mind, what you're going through. I may have some pointers, such as yeah, but I'll save it until you never know if you're gonna get views on these videos, so I'll save it. But yeah, hit me up, and you can like the video, you can share it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.